Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Become a channel member where you'll get access to all archive videos, support independent media, super chats enabled, super thanks for the replay gang, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Dr. Thunder Music, all one word. Spell out the word doctor. And if you'd like to feed me sandwiches, then all methods apply. Sandwich gang in the building. Don't mess with my sandwich money. I'm Dr. Thunder. This is Two Dads React, and that's my collaboration with Tony from God Rules. Been best friends since fifth grade. And we're both family men. We're both dads, married men. We're very interested and concerned about the way that politics and Hollywood and culture, the SJWs and the and how just the environment is impacting families, potentially will impact our kids. And so, yeah, we're dads. We're lame-o dads. Pretty lame. Especially Tony. He's pretty lame. It's all right. We're both pretty lame. We're pretty boring, actually. He's got a huge channel, huge platform, and he's been doing this for much longer than I have. He's doing great work over there. Make sure you guys sub to his channel. Today's show, the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, and Milton is coming. Milton is coming. Yeah, just utter devastation. Just Helene was horrific, and they're even suggesting that Milton may be worse. And you want to talk about insult to injury. This is really horrific what's going on, and the FEMA money has been depleted, and so they've been able to muster up a meager 750, which used to be 750. I don't know, maybe 100 years ago would have been adequate. But 750, even from, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, is not 750 anymore. 750 might be more like 500. So it's kind of a smack in the face. And we see all of this financial support for migrant workers, legal immigration. You see a lot of support for that, while we are, homeless population is growing of United States citizens, and they're loading up these illegal immigrants, those that have broken the laws, come here not by the legal method. Health insurance, they're giving them lodging, giving them a debit card with, what is it, $1,400 a month for food, and they can only give Helene, the victims of Hurricane Helene, American citizens, $750. And you should have seen Kamala up there as looking very well. They wanted her to look presidential, but it just didn't. It was kind of like actually her going up there. That's kind of the crap job. That's the one that you give the scapegoat, the goat, the fall guy. He was supposed to be the one to go up and tell him that they were going to only give him $750. They messed that up, especially with the presidential election coming. But hey, this is what it is. So anyhow, today's show we're going to be talking all about the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and the oncoming Milton. Uh, you know, dude, we're talking Wednesday, perhaps late Wednesday. That's tomorrow, or early Thursday. That's when they're talking about this thing hitting. So we're talking about right now. This stuff is happening right now. So, without any further ado, uh, you know, two dads react. Let's go.
Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's happening, man?
Hey, it's been a little bit. How you been?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Doing all right. Um, oh goodness, we got a super chat here. Let me acknowledge
Really?
the super chat. Thank you very much, Gregory Scotland. Saying salute, Dr. Thunder. Did you hear about the Afghan terrorist arrested in Oklahoma City by the FBI? He was looking to kill a mass of people on November 5th. Oh, no, I'll have to
I didn't
look
hear
into
about
that.
that.
I'll have to check that out. That could be a topic because it's not it's that's something perhaps we could discuss next week's show, or
Yeah,
actually, or something. But yeah,
I'm
thank you,
expecting it.
Gregory Scotland, for that support. And let me just shout out a couple folks that I see in the chat: Andre 420, Detro 0861 3000 GT Atlanta, Annette Villanueva, and of course, again, Gregory Scotland. And of course, Gregory Scotland's super chat is evidence that the super chat function is fully operational.
That's good.
So please like, share, support the show, all of that good stuff. Sandwich Gang in the building. So what's happening, man? What's the haps?
Well, I mean, we've seen what happened with Hurricane Helene, Western North Carolina, and actually I found something rather interesting today that I put up. I put it on my video on my channel, but I also put it up on Twitter, and apparently a lot of people don't know about it. So we're going to talk about that today
Yeah,
in this live stream. It's something pretty big. BlackRock buying up a company that said they're going to be putting mines in the exact area where the flooding was. And they bought it 1 month ago. They bought this company that's putting mines in the exact area where all the flooding was, where the most flooding was. It's also exactly where the most lithium is, believe it or not. I can show it on the screen if you want me to show it real quick.
sure. We
We'll
can.
talk about it more later, but obviously, this is the flooding right here. The red is the most flooding, and you can see it's over on the, you know, on the west sort of part of North Carolina. And if you look at this, you'll see that the red here is the most sediment for lithium. It's in the exact same area where the red is. Not this part's in a little bit different area, but this right here is in the right. And this is actually the most red. And what's interesting is uh, lithium giant Albemarle plans to reopen a rich mine in North Carolina. In this area, and this is May 3rd, 2024, this article came out from CNBC. And then you have this one, BlackRock just bought Albemarle last month. So they actually bought the company that's putting a mine in the exact area where all the lithium is, which is where all the flooding was. So, and of course, there's a lot of people talking about them trying to purchase some of the land for cheaper. And of course, like I said, I'm not saying anything's happening here, but it just is a weird coincidence. All this is happening.
Right.
I'm complete coincidence, like everything else that happens every day anymore over the last few years. Just complete coincidence. Don't look here. All right. So,
Yep. Goofy stuff, man. All right. So here, let's jump in and talk a little bit about. Let's talk about. Let's see here. We've got some hurricane business. Let's see here. What is this? What do I have here? Okay, here is some aftermath of Helene. Let's check it out. Hey, it probably, the people that own this property, that it just toppled like this, they're probably quite comforted by the $750 that they're going to get.
I'm sure they are.
Oh yeah, that's going to fix it right up. 750 will fix this right up.
Especially now inflation's low, especially now, right?
That's right.
Can almost buy a month's worth of food with that much money now. You know what I mean? For a family. I mean, yeah, this is like a 40-foot container wrapping around
It's
something.
gonna hit the pool though right here.
Oh man.
Holy.
Wow.
That thing just ripped through
That's
the whole.
that was a roof too of some building.
Half.
Because that was some air conditioners on top of the roof. That was like the
Yep.
entire roof of some big building. That was not a house either. That was like a huge
Yep.
some store or something. It's gone now. And also the people had so little notice. Apparently a lot of them didn't get out of their house when this stuff's happening. So it's really ridiculous.
Now check this out. This is pretty funky here. Okay. So this woman, so she didn't lose her house, but she lost a bunch of groceries. So she figured, hey, I can file for, because like electricity went off, and then of course you can't go anywhere and get food or whatever. So it's just like
Right.
or whatever. So anyhow, so she applied for the FEMA.
But she got rejected, right? I heard
But
about
she
a
got
bunch
some
of people
rejected.
Yeah.
So check it out here. Let's see if I got it, trying to get it right to the right spot. Here we go.
There's been so many videos that I've been trying to make over the past few days. Like I just either stop midway, or my battery's dying, or there's something that I have to address. I want to talk about FEMA real quick. I applied for the $750 assistance because I was losing food, and I thought, yes, I didn't have damage to my house. Let me get my food fixed or covered, some of it. So instantly denied. I had no idea why. It said I requested housing. Well, I didn't request housing. So I went on the website and I was like trying to dig around and find out what was the reason for denial. And eventually I found it. You have to dig around if it's working, the website. And it said that I had been denied because I have homeowners insurance. So if you have homeowners insurance, what you will need to do to appeal that is provide a letter of denial from your homeowner's insurance. First off, if you get through that stage, then you have to provide proof that you own your home. So you have to provide your mortgage paperwork. If you get through that, then you have to provide that you actually have occupancy of your home, that you live here. So you have to have a bill or a bunch of there's a list of things that you have to provide. I can't believe they're making people do this. And then if you get through that, you have to provide pictures of your damage. So think about people who don't have Wi-Fi, or they can't charge their phone, or they're in a desperate situation. They're denied, and you have to go through this red tape tangle of bullshit to maybe get approved. I don't even know if it's possible. I mean, I don't know one person that's got approved for this. I'm just wanting to let people know that if you really want to work towards it, you're going to have all this stuff lined up, have your Wi-Fi accessible, your phone charged up, be able to upload these papers. What about all these people? Okay, here's the thing. What about all these people that just lost their entire house, and it's like smashed and pulverized down the way because of a mudslide and a flood, and you don't know where your papers are? You have to then think about this. I mean, this is terrible. You have to contact your mortgage company, you have to contact your utility company, somehow get proof, which would come in the form of an email, but you can't submit an email. You have to submit like a document. So I just want to let people know that this is messed up. This is a red tape tangled mess of impossibility for people that are in an emergency. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and just say it. Meanwhile, illegals are coming in and getting handed money, housing, food, cell phone, credit card. They're getting money, $50,000 for a down payment on a house, and they're getting their higher education paid for. I don't get it. I don't get it. I have a lot of things to say about it, but I'm going to leave you all to do your research. But there's no reason why the government, if you're in an affected area of this hurricane, you should just get the money. You shouldn't have to go through all these hoops.
Yeah.
The people that have no documentation don't have to go through these hoops. They're just like handed to them. Think about that. Think about that.
No,
say you're a migrant, It's like, oh, here, I have all this money. Here, it's like retarded.
Now, I can neither confirm nor deny the claim that she made about higher education paid for.
Well, I've heard something too, that if you make too much money, they won't give you the $750 either. Like if your previous tax return, you had too much money. Yep. Even if you just lost your entire home and everything and all the money in it, and just like everything's gone, it doesn't matter. you made a lot of money before, so.
But I thought she was making a really good point. Okay, so they're gonna make you like dig out all of this paperwork to prove
I
that you own
know,
the
it's like
house and stuff.
it's in the river, dude.
Right?
Like, what the freak? It's like down the river. Oh, let me go get those. Oh, that's right. It's down the river. I can't get them. You give me a break, dude. What the
Oh
heck?
my goodness gracious, man! That is
Unless you have
just
them all
like.
on your phone. Unless you have them all on your phone. I don't keep all my documents on my phone. I don't keep anything on my phone.
All right, let's
Goodness.
see. Let's see what this is about.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Wait, let's
Who's that guy? I can't remember who that is. He's an old actor.
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Yeah. Gene Wilder.
Okay,
we're like old timers here. We're old timers. So
that's right. Well, he's a super old timer. Okay, let's listen. Let's
So
listen
you
again.
get nothing. You lose.
Okay, let me so this is what the big government is telling you. This is what big government is telling you.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Isn't it the guy who was in Willy Wonka? Isn't that the guy in Willy Wonka?
Yeah, it's the same
The
guy.
original. Okay,
Yeah, that's the
I
same
knew it
guy.
was familiar.
He was also in Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, Blazing Saddles. You can't even watch that anymore. They put a note if it's on like Amazon Prime or something. They'll put a note like, "This is a racist movie" or something like that. They had some jokes in it or something.
Yeah, it's so silly.
Those jokes
It's
back
so
in the
silly.
90s, you can't, like Eddie Murphy jokes, you can't tell those jokes anymore. It's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
You know. So.
All right, let's see what this is about. This is a little longer. This
Of
is a
course,
longer
it's pretty
segment.
bad.
I don't know if I want to play this whole one. Let me get another one.
Yeah,
Let me
you
get
don't want to
another
get a
one up
copyright
first.
either. You don't want to get a copyright either.
I have pretty good success not getting copyright for these kinds of videos. For any of the TikTok stuff,
Yeah.
I usually do pretty good. So here, this is a little shorter. Let's play this one.
How have you felt the response has been so far?
It's too late. I mean, they took too long. It took them 5 days to get here. And I mean, it took 5 days for Biden to come here, and he didn't think we were worth coming down to see himself. He had to fly over on his way to Raleigh. It's
Now that's interesting because that sounds like one of the things they said about G.W. Bush with Hurricane Katrina. Remember? And they were saying, he didn't even want to go, and he didn't even treat it like it was a big deal. That's interesting. Let's keep going.
disgraceful. I mean, they keep saying we the people. No, there is no we the people. It's them versus us. So they're not for us. It's all about them. They tell us what we need instead of just
What you got?
Well, there was really interesting. There's these helicopters, National Guard helicopters that were going down on like some of these civilian distribution centers that were trying to help out supply aid. And they were actually blowing all the stuff, the tents and everything are all over the place. Like it's like an us versus them, like the National Guard were actually fighting the civilians that were trying to help. And by the way, they were hardly doing anything because FEMA ran out of money because they gave it to the not so legals or the migrants, whatever you want to call them.
And
they
Ukraine,
gave like $1 billion.
And to Ukraine. That's right.
Yeah, and like so it was really weird because they're like one civilian helicopter guy was saying that there's like 40 civilian helicopters he had seen in the air trying to give support to these people, but there was like 2 National Guards helicopters he ever saw in the air for that amount, so it's like 1/20th of the help came from the government. Like 19/20ths of it came from the civilians that just wanted to help out. Right. So that's how bad it is. And it's because FEMA ran out of money. I actually have a picture of that here. Where is that at? Here it is. If you wanted to show it on the screen.
Yeah. Let's get that.
It's just they spent they gave $1 billion to the migrants, like $700 hotel rooms in New York City, like a night. And then they give like $750 to these people one time. Right. So it's
Look, I don't. Sometimes you have to laugh not to cry, man. This stuff is
oh
just
yeah,
like it's like comedy. It's like comedy that it's so ridiculous. It's like a
yeah.
satire. It's like some freaking, like, this is not real.
Twilight Zone. It's the
Right.
Twilight Zone, man. Yeah, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone for the last 2 years so far. I'm pretty much from 2020 till now. It's been the Twilight Zone, but
Yeah.
you're entering into the Twilight Zone.
All
Yes,
right, here. Let
indeed.
me
We're in
let
the
me
Twilight
let,
Zone.
let me play the rest of this joint, because so right here, so this is heartbreaking. Hurricane victims offer 750, and yet FEMA has spent over $1 billion on migrants over the last 2 years. Okay, so that's kind of that number that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's those
Um,
two numbers added together. Yep.
yeah, and this is on Fox News. Feds fumble hurricane response. American first. Let's see this.
Well, it's going to
So
be worse
listen
with
to us.
Milton. Milton, they're not going to have any money. According to the director, they're going to have like nothing, and it's like a Category 4, I think, and it's going tomorrow. It's going to land. So,
Yeah,
but
so what
Florida
they're
has their
actually
own. Florida has their own. But go ahead.
so I've got some video we can, and we'll
Yeah,
talk
later.
about that later, but
Yeah.
they're saying it actually right now it's a Category 5, but
Oh,
they
they're saying
think
it's
that,
fine.
yeah, but what they think
It's
that's
so
going to
weird. It keeps going back and forth. I heard 4, 5, 5. It keeps.
well
It's and the experts were saying it would be a 2 or
well okay
3
so
max.
so here's
But yeah,
the
go ahead.
so here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a 5 now, but they think that it's going to be a 3 or a 4 once it hits land.
Well, that's tomorrow morning, dude. It's like.
Well, not tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, Thursday morning. So
Oh, okay. I'm thinking Thursday. Okay, it's Thursday.
yeah.
That's
So
right.
late Wednesday, early Thursday morning is when they think that the
Thursday
thing is going to
morning,
hit.
very early Thursday morning. Yeah, okay, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
So something
Tomorrow's
like that.
Wednesday.
So
Yeah.
let's play this rest of this.
Well, they're listening right now. What do you have to say to them? Is $750 enough?
No, and the part about immediate help, there's plenty of people that are okay for like today, but that doesn't mean tomorrow they won't be. 750. There's people that have lost everything, their home, their everything, that they priceless items that were thousands of dollars. And I'm not expecting her to give us thousands of dollars, but they can do more than that. And that
Actually, I don't think it would I don't think it would be out of. I think it would be good. Thousands of dollars would be the appropriate response.
Well, I mean, they're just gaslighting us. It seems like all the time. Like, oh, there's no inflation. Oh, 750 will buy a lot. I mean, come on, man. This is so retarded. These people. I mean, it's so ridiculous. I mean,
They need
750 is
another.
like a
They
slap.
need another zero. They need another zero on that number.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face. Honestly, I wouldn't even accept the money. I would be like just taking the civilian support. I think honestly, because you never know what's attached to that 750. It's like it says in Proverbs: the king has you come to his dinner table. He's expecting something from you, even if it's a measly 750. Right? You know what I mean? So I just wouldn't even take the 750. I'd be like, shove it back in their face. I mean, give me a break, dude.
Yeah.
I don't need your
Don't take the
750.
money.
I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it
it's
just
not
out
worth,
of.
that's not worth anything.
When you hear the
There's so
government
many people
saying
here
that they
actually.
when you hear the
Go
government
ahead.
saying they ran out of money, they're going to need more money, and that they gave it away to all of these migrants that came here.
They took it
came
from
here
us.
against
Too.
the law. How does that make you feel as an American citizen?
Extremely angry. They're putting other people before their own. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I feel betrayed. I feel like we're not worth it to them.
I have a
Yeah, that's
picture
really
of.
sad.
I got a picture of all the money they spent. Check this out. It's was it 24 billion to Ukraine, 11 billion to Israel, 2 billion to Ethiopia, 1.6 billion to Jordan, 1.4 billion to Egypt, 1 billion to Afghanistan, a billion to Somalia, a billion to Yemen, a billion to Congo. Congo's like basically, I put on my video, it's basically a swamp the size of Texas. A lot of people don't know what the Congo is really. I'm like, what are they using $1 billion for in Congo? I don't understand why they can't spend the money here more than all these other countries. It's like kind of ridiculous. All this money going to all these countries, and we're broke. Our country's broke, and they can't even support their own people. Why are they putting all this money in the other countries? What is this all about? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's
Especially the
totally
Ukraine one.
ridiculous.
The Ukraine one really gets me. I don't. Every time I see them giving more money, I'm like, why is this thing still going? Why are we giving all this money there? It makes no sense to me.
Well, and look at what they're doing in you know, we have to be careful what we say because
Oh
there's
yeah,
this,
well, yeah, I know.
but look at what they're doing. This blind support for Israel. Just the
Well,
blinds,
yeah.
the blind support, like and it's crazy too.
Are they supporting us? Are they supporting us?
No,
That's my question back. So, like a lot of these countries, are they doing their fair share of anything? It's like when, our former prez was in, he was like, NATO's going to have to pay for itself. All the European countries, they're not putting any money in it. We're putting all of it. No, you guys put your fair share in. Why are we paying for all you guys? It's like we got a bunch of junkie friends and we keep giving them money or something. It's kind of ridiculous. Why are they taking all this money from us? It's like handouts. And we're not even supporting our own family. We're like giving money to all our friends and not supporting our own family, basically. It's plain and simple.
yeah, but they keep giving this money for billions of dollars for weapons to
Right.
to Israel, and then Israel goes and
Ukraine too.
right,
Ukraine's huge.
yeah, but then Israel goes and
Whoa.
you know bombs different places,
Yeah.
whatever happens, and then we go and say, okay, now we're going to go help the humanitarian crisis in one of these places where we funded the weapons that did that damage. It's just like,
Oh yeah,
I
saw a tweet. Yeah, I saw that, man. There's like one where I think it's Lebanon, right? They bombed
Lebanon. It's
Lebanon,
Lebanon. Yeah.
and then we gave money to them,
Yeah.
Lebanon. Or it's like, so
No,
we
no, no.
basically gave the
Right.
weapons to blow it up, and then we're like rebuilding it. Like what?
I just don't. I
That's
don't
so
get it,
stupid.
and I'm telling you, this is one of the reasons because, unfortunately, the Dems and the Republicans, with respect to the Middle East, basically have the same policy.
Yeah.
Just
Actually,
basically do the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. Both parties have a lot of problems, and I think it's a lot of hands in the cookie jar. You know what I mean? I think they're getting money or promotion. They're promoting stuff that's not really what they believe. I feel like it's kind of like someone is coaxed them that way, whether it's through money or whatever it is. And it's really ridiculous because I don't think the Republicans are any better. George W. Bush is friends with Obama and all those guys. Like all those guys hang out now, and it's really weird to look at because remember back like 20 years ago, you would never imagine George Bush ever hanging out with Bill Clinton ever. Like they're total enemies, and now they're like chummy friends.
Well, actually, even before G.W. Bush was in office, actually they were buddies. He was buddies with Bill Clinton. Yeah. The Clinton, I guess Bill Clinton had some sort of relationship with G.W. Bush's dad, Bush Sr.
Well, Bush Sr. is kind of like Emperor Palpatine to me because, like, I think he's honestly, I think he's into some really messed up stuff, like Luciferian stuff. Personally, he went to the crowning capstone on the Great Pyramid, which is some occultic thing, and he was head of the CIA, and all that kind of stuff. I think that dude's kind of like Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars, pretty much. A lot of people think he's this great guy. He's a good man, but I don't think he's what he appears to be, is what I'm saying. George Bush Sr. So yeah. I think it's kind of weird to see them all friends now. They used to be enemies, and they're like all friends now.
And of course the thing is that all along they've been buddies. I mean, I just it's a lot of, I think, posing and posturing for the camera. To keep people,
I mean,
sort of kind of control the the optics. It's important to have an opposition party if you want to keep all the same people in power.
Right, and I showed this earlier about BlackRock. So let me show this again really quick. Apparently, BlackRock just bought this company a month ago. They're the lithium giant, and they're going to reopen their mines in North Carolina, in that exact area, And BlackRock just bought them last month. And then a month later, we have the flooding in the exact area where these mines are, and the highest concentration of lithium's in that exact area. So, and we've seen BlackRock a lot lately too. If you've been paying attention to the news the last couple months, their name pops up all the time. Whenever you have some crazy thing happen, BlackRock's name pops up. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I don't want to say all the things that it's popped up with, but some of these people that have tried to take, out, of course, are former pres. All were in BlackRock, of course. They had some, tie to BlackRock. So a lot of people don't know that either. But yeah. And also, by the way, Bush and Cheney, we were talking about them. There are some interesting ties with those guys to some of the companies that were trying to short our former president's stock, 45 stock, which is kind of interesting as well. Why did they try to short the stock the day before it happened? The first attempt, right? Mm-hmm. And it was and Cheney and Bush were tied into that company. So it's just really kind of weird, all these things. So corruption.
All right, folks, please like the video. Please like the video. Yeah, I guess we can keep going. I got some more stuff.
Yeah, go ahead. You got some stuff?
Let's see here. What do I got here? Okay, yeah. This is, we're still kind of, we're sort of still on this kind of deal. So let's see what this is about.
What can you get for $750? You can't even afford to relocate yourself for 3 nights in a decent hotel. You can't even pay off a phone bill plus hotel. You have to make a decision on whether or not you can afford to even leave the state that is declared a disaster area. But if you were in Israel, Ukraine, or any of the foreign wars, you will get curbside service. Or maybe you should move to another country and come back to get that curbside service. That's the level of disrespect that they have for the American people.
It is pretty disrespectful, man. And yeah, man, it's just ridiculous what's going on with all this. You said you had some stuff about Hurricane Milton too, right?
Yeah, I'm almost done with this. I think I have maybe one more here. So I got this one.
$100 billion plus dollars of damage with Helene as well.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's see here. So you see the top there, and then you see the bottom. So let's go ahead.
Pleased to announce that the United States will provide more than $1.5 billion to address Ukraine's humanitarian and energy needs.
Okay, so they got $1.5 billion for humanitarian needs in Ukraine. $1.5 billion. Let's see what they got for, the victims of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. See what they got for them.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
I'm telling you, I said this earlier. This was supposed to be like you want her to look presidential. She's on the podium and she's doing her thing. No, man, it needed to be a fall guy. See, because to say what she had to say, that she was going to give them $750, that is like, that's not what you want them to say. If you want her to win, if you want her to look presidential, she shouldn't have been the person saying that. She should have had somebody else say it. Somebody that they could fire them or something after they said it, so they could act like they were appalled or something.
I feel like it feels like there's someone behind her making her do these things that she does. This is like political suicide, isn't it? To do something like that. That sounds pretty stupid to say. Honestly, like, we got a whopping $750 for you. Don't ask for it all at once. We'll only give you a couple hundred at a time. Okay. So, They don't want you to overspend it. You know, it's a lot of money. Gonna be rich afterwards, of course. But
Well,
I mean, it's just ridiculous that she said this because, like, why? I keep seeing her. She's even starting to admit like she's losing. It's like really weird. I've seen her talking, and she's like, "Yeah, we're behind. We're trying to catch up." I'm like, "I thought you were ahead." And it just feels like she's got this losing thoughts in her head, and just really bad, terrible answers to questions, just everything.
Yeah, you know? I've been you know, almost every show I've done some sort of segment on polling, or I'm talking about my morning shows, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. But I've been doing a segment on polling, or on like the media kind of being greasy with the way that they report certain things. Something I covered something this morning where Joy Reid from MSNBC, and she's talking about polling of which she says Arab Americans and Muslims. So what she's trying to do is trying to conflate those groups, right? Because Arab Americans are not just Muslim. Arab Americans, there's Christians, there are all kinds of things. They're non-religious.
There's some countries, there's some countries that are actually Christian that are Arab too. There's like one or two. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head.
Right. So so anyhow, what was I saying? What was I talking about?
You're saying about MSNBC or
Joy Reid. So she fudges the numbers. She conflates Arab Americans with Muslim. And the thing is that it's completely different, right? Because you have some of that would be in common, but there are black Muslims, there's all kinds of folks from an ethnic perspective.
There's white Muslims. I've met
white
Russians
Muslims, right.
I've met Russians that were white Muslims.
So the issue is,
or even Americans. I've met Americans that are white Muslims.
So one of the issues that's arisen is in the battleground states. The Muslim vote is going to Jill Stein. Jill Stein. She's the Green Party, Party presidential candidate.
Really?
It's trending hard. I'm talking about it's very close, but Jill is getting a heavier percentage of the Muslim vote, right? And then not only that, but you have so the Republicans are only getting like 11% of the Muslim vote. Democrats are getting a bigger percentage than Republicans.
I'm kind of wondering though if 45 is different than Republican, because like when you think Republican, you got like two factors to Republican. You got like the old rhinos, and then you got kind of like the Trump ones, I guess. They're not the same thing.
The poll was based on the candidates for president. So Trump was getting less than the Democrats, or than Kamala, and
from Muslims?
Kamala is very close to Jill Stein as far as the way the numbers performing. But the thing is that since more of the vote is going to the Green Party, those are battleground states, and the Democrats would need those votes. Now, the thing is that what they're trying to say is, third party is going to the Republicans. Third party votes are going to the Republicans. No, what it is that those Muslim voters were not going to vote for Democrat or Republican. They're only voting for Jill Stein because at least she has a sensible policy, thoughts about what's happening in the Middle East. The Gaza issue is huge for Muslim Americans.
Well, I would think that, again, a lot of this is cultural based. A lot of people vote cultural based. It seems like, or society, kind of the people that are around, you know what I mean, who you hang out with and stuff. But I mean, I think Trump is actually trying to stop wars. But it is kind of weird because he is pro, sort of Israel. So you don't know what's going to happen there. But
with respect to that issue,
when he was in, he didn't have any wars that he started.
That's true. The Democrats have been way more hawkish about war. They've been
It
war
kind of
hawks
it
and
reminds me
mongers.
of George Bush. Yeah, it's like it's like
Mhm.
it flipped. It like flipped, man. Because George Bush was all the rich money back then, and now it seems like the Democrats got more of the rich money and the war stuff going. It reminds me like they're like basically George Bush now.
So
The
it's definitely the case. I like the idea of not being encumbered in all these wars and nation building and all that kind of stuff, spending money over there when we should be spending it here. Our homeless population is exploding.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and
We need to
and
fix
look at
it.
this.
That's part of the economy. We need to drill for oil, fix the dollar because the dollar is going to hell. They need to put get petro oil contracts going with the oil drilling here. We have our own oil. We should do gold backing on the dollar again. That would fix the price of everything too. If they would do that, I don't know if they will, but if they do, I'm sure that Trump, if he gets in, he will drill for oil and he could set up petro oil contracts that will strengthen the dollar. But I think if they did gold backing on the dollar, that would really fix it. You would see prices go back to like it was before all this inflation, like maybe 2015 prices. You'd probably start seeing that after a year or two if he puts the gold standard back on the dollar. But I don't. That's what happened in Russia. They put their currency back on the gold standard. 2 years later, it's like a third the price in the store there as compared to here for groceries right now.
Yeah, I mean, so so I'm in agreement with I agree with his Trump's policy on not being involved in wars, but with respect to this Middle East issue, the
Yeah, the
Dems
Middle
and
East
the
is a big one.
Republicans are identical. They're going to do the same things.
Well, I'm concerned that Trump will get talked into stuff like he did last time. Last year of his term, he was talked into things that were not good, like stopping the economy, printing all this money. He was talked into a lot of stuff that was just not good. And his first ideas were good. Like he was like, no, we're not going to stop the economy. And then like, oh, we got to stop it. We got to print the money. And like everybody's telling him this. And he's just like, oh, okay. If he could just stick to his original thoughts and stop letting people talking him into stuff, I think it would work out a lot better.
So so I think that works. I think it works both ways. So I think the real issue was he had bad people advising him.
Well, that too, yeah. He had a lot of bad people advising him too.
So now I think, honestly, and I'm not a Trumper. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm third party. But I think that he's likely has a better idea of the people that he should be listening to now.
I would hope. I would hope.
And so if he does get in there, you'd hope that that part of it was fixed. Because one of the criticisms also of Trump was that actually he doesn't listen to anybody. And then the people
I kind of like that a little bit. I mean, depending on what the situation is, because in some cases he's got wrong ideas himself. But I mean, I like it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so largely it seems to me as president, you'd have to do mostly listening, because there's no way that you could have enough knowledge about everything that's going on in the country. You have to depend on
good advisors.
That's right. You have to depend on some people, but you just have to have the right people. And I just think he had a bunch of. I mean, now he fired people. He got people out of there once he discovered that they were hogwash.
Well, it took
Fauci
too long.
Fauci stuck around for too long, but
oh my goodness, that guy was terrible.
Yeah, Fauci stuck around for too long, but he kicked people out of his cabinet. Biden and them, they just keep rolling with the bogus folks they have.
I don't feel like they're really running things, honestly. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like, why would she say $750? She knows that's not going to work out well for her. But I feel like it's someone telling her, you got to say this. And she's like, well, that ain't going to really help me. I don't feel like she's really, that's the problem I have with it. I don't feel like they're really in charge. I feel like they're just like, empty suits and someone's telling them to do stuff.
Oddly, I mean, now you just see the way that she got, the opportunity that she's in now is there was no primary process. When she actually had to do a primary,
it was acting like she's won it. Like, she didn't win anything. You're right. She didn't win it.
Yeah, but I mean, but the last time when she actually did do a primary process, she
She was
couldn't
terrible.
make it through the primary, right?
Dude, she got beat by Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard knocked her out pretty much in the debate and just
right.
totally destroyed her campaign. Tulsi Gabbard's really smart too. I think Tulsi Gabbard would be a lot better than any of these people. If she was on the Democratic ticket, I would say she's a lot better than all the other ones. But of course, those in charge didn't like her and purposely stopped her campaign back then. They stopped all of her advertising online. You know what I mean? If you're even remotely good and remotely individualistic, they're going to try to stop you, right? If you have any sense of your own morals and your own compass, and you're trying to do the right thing, you're going to probably have a hard time. You're probably going to have a hard time.
Yeah, but I've been running segments in my morning shows, talking about a lot of the, like I said, polling and talking about some of the goofy stuff that's going on with Kamala. She did an interview on The View.
I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, which was a crap show. And then also she just did one on 60 Minutes. And
that's the one I was talking about, where she actually she was talking as if she won the primary. She literally, the way she worded it was really bad. Yeah, I won. That was right after he said you didn't win. Biden just stepped down and you got the job, or the potential job of running. So the way she spoke was really bad. It was
I think that she has this kind of sort of scowl that she does if you ask a question she doesn't like, and I don't think that plays well. I think it makes her look, and look, I was listening to one of the somebody that I've been listening to quite a bit lately is Sabby Sabs, and she's a third party kind of advocate. She's more on the left, but she's common sense, and she calls out all the the BS and everything. But she was talking about how she thinks that Kamala is going to be even more hawkish, like warmonger hawkish, than Biden.
Yeah,
and the reason is because she thinks that she's going to be trying to compensate for being a woman, because she wanted to look tough. So then she'll be in there and actually overcompensating for that, and then getting involved and actually encumbered in more stuff.
Well, I'm looking at her hurricane response, and her hurricane response makes me think she's worse than Biden for some reason, because the response is just terrible. So I feel like it's just going to be tone deaf. She's going to say all the right words. She does. She says all the right words. We need to help our own people. She was in an interview.
No. She doesn't say the right words. She says the same words.
Well,
she says the same words every time.
She says hollow words, like we need to help our own people. And she says all the things that you want to hear, but then she doesn't do any of it.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say this, man, and I might be the first person to say this. I'm sure probably somebody else has said this. It's like she's an NPC.
Yeah, dude. I'm thinking that too.
It's like she's an NPC, man.
NPC, dude.
It's like she's an NPC. Look, she has stock statements that she makes, and she tries to figure out which one of those statements will work for the question at hand. And she just shoehorns that thing in there, and it does not answer the question or address it at all. And then she gets frustrated when you say, no. Now, first of all, we've heard you say that 20 times, but other than that, it's just it's more like we want you to actually answer the question that we're asking you. We know that you like to say that for stuff that's in this sort of general range of questions, but you have to actually answer the question that I'm asking you. And she got frustrated with that in that 60 Minutes interview.
Yeah, because they're getting more jaded. These guys interviewing her are realizing she's not really answering questions, so they're already getting to the point where they're like, "We already know what you're going to say." They're kind of getting jaded and just confronting her a little bit more, And it's kind of funny seeing it, because they never did that with Biden really so much. Like maybe they're going along with it for so long and they're just getting sick of going along with it. I don't know.
All right. Well, here, let me play this one, and then I've got, I think I've got at least one or two videos on Milton. Here we go.
Kamala just announced that FEMA is going to be providing $750 to the victims of Hurricane Helene. She says that this money can be used for, quote, immediate needs and assistance for home repairs, insurance deductibles, and hotel stays. When people see how much migrants are getting paid in sanctuary cities per month compared to the American taxpayers who just had their complete lives destroyed by Hurricane Helene, it feels like a complete ripoff. In New York, migrants are getting $1,400 a month in SNAP benefits. In Los Angeles, $1,000 per month. In Chicago, they're getting many benefits. And I know that a lot of this money is state and city funded, but FEMA's had something to do with it as well. Look at this. In 2023 and 2024, the direct funding for migrants through FEMA was over $1.4 billion. That's when you add up the costs that they've spent on the Shelter and Services Program, the SSP, and the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, the EFSP-H. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims of Hurricane Helene, and my question to you is, should the federal government be doing more? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
And by the way, this picture of her up here, this picture has got to be like a 20 or 25-year-old picture.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and you can tell. Look, you can tell. Look at her neck.
She looks younger. It could be also what do they call it? Modified or whatever.
It could be Photoshop, but it seems to me
Photoshop, yeah.
Yeah, but it seems to me that it's more likely that it's just an old picture, because that's the easiest thing to do.
Maybe.
They just grab an old picture.
Home repairs. She said home repair. Bro, you can't do any home repairs with $750. Nothing. No. I'm getting a new roof on my house. It ain't no $750, dude. Okay. It's like tens of thousands of dollars now for I'm getting a really good quality roof. So easily over $10,000 just to put a roof on your house, a new roof. And if you're doing a good job, getting really high quality is even more. So if you can imagine these houses are destroyed, you're not going to do anything with $750. There's nothing you can do with $750 on a house repair, virtually nothing.
All right, so this woman is preggers.
I'm pregnant. Okay.
Pregnant woman used mattress to escape Helene flood.
I mean, it was literally like you were stuck on an island, and I just didn't know what to do. There was no leaving the house at that point.
Russell says she watched from her window as cars and RVs floated by. Then she heard part of the house collapse.
When you start hearing that, it's almost like a movie. And then the front door, the water pushed it in, and it pushed in the back door. And within 30 seconds, it went from the ground to neck level.
Russell says she and her dog floated on a mattress in her home for nearly 8 hours, hoping to be rescued.
It's like you go from this scariest feeling and place to almost peaceful, because it was like you were already so scared, and your body's getting cold from being in the water, and you're getting sore from just shaking from being in the water, and it's just like your body almost goes numb. And
it wasn't until 6 p.m. when Russell's husband David was able to reach her.
And the minute I seen him, I thought this is my only chance to get out, and so me and the dog took off down the front yard, but the currents were so strong that I only made it maybe 10 feet, and I had to yell to them I can't walk anymore, or it's going to take me.
Russell considers herself lucky. She made it out. She knows others weren't so fortunate.
Yeah, man.
That's messed up, man. Let's see here. Which one is it that I want? Not, oh man, where did my man, I thought I had, I know I did. Here, why don't you do something while I'm figuring this out?
Talking about Hurricane Milton? Trying to find those.
Yeah, I've got some other stuff. Here. I just don't see it right now.
This is a picture of Hurricane Milton in one snapshot where it looks like a skull. But I noticed a number of people were saying that there were experts predicting it would be a category 2 or 3, and it ended up being a 5, which they had basically 0.1% probability or 0.01%. It was very low probability of it becoming a 5. So some are wondering, why is this thing seeming to be so unnatural? It's the biggest one ever in the Gulf of Mexico. So I guess we'll see how this plays out when it lands in Florida. Clearly, FEMA has no money now, so it's going to be all Florida that's going to be taking the brunt of this. And, well, I guess we'll see how it works out. But it's supposed to go near Orlando. I know that. It's supposed to get pretty near Orlando, which is where a number of, like Disney World and stuff is at. But
okay, I'm loaded up now.
I actually have the one on the view here as well, but go ahead, man.
Let's see here. There we go. Here it is.
And here we are now staring down a Category 4 monster. We're getting these real-time updates from the hurricane hunters, and they had in bold caps locks on this latest statement from them that they were experiencing severe turbulence in the southwestern portion of the storm, where they measured winds in excess of 162 miles per hour at flight level. If it's strengthening rapidly, that's when you get that type of turbulence. So how in the world did we get here? Well, very warm ocean waters, and now 150 mile per hour storm with a 10 nautical mile wide pinhole eye. Centripetal force is allowing this storm to spin faster, actually doubling the criteria for rapid intensification in just about a day's time. Here's the projected path. This is so important. DeSantis talking about it. It has slowed down in its expected arrival time, so late Wednesday into Thursday.
Okay, and that's kind of part of what I was saying. This guy right here, he had some really good, which one is it? Is it this guy? No, it's not. No, that's DeSantis. No, that's the guy I want right there. So, here it is. So this guy right here, he's talking about. See, he says it's a Category 5, but notice what he says.
Watch this. The storm, just like Helene, is filling up the entire Gulf of Mexico. This storm is bigger. All right, look at the stats right now. And this is stuff that just came in. Not only is it a Category 5, it went from a 1 to a 5 in a matter of hours, it just got stronger. Winds are blowing right now at 180 miles per hour, the strongest we've ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin. Hurricane Helene, back in 1980, had 190 mile per hour winds, but I see more warm water ahead. This could actually strengthen. I think it'll weaken right before it comes onshore as either a 4, maybe a 3, and that's going to be late Wednesday, early Thursday. But take a look at how all eyes are on Tampa, Florida. When you look at the spaghetti models, I know we've got a lot to choose from here, but right now it's coming true. It's showing a true track. About 90% are in line with it coming right into Tampa. Zoom in tight there because you need to look at this. If it goes right where my foot is, okay, right there, it would be just north of Tampa, but that would put all the storm surge into Tampa, and Tampa Bay is directly under that number 48. It would be, Nora, I used this analogy before, it's like the water has nowhere to go. It's like taking a gallon of water and pouring it into a Dixie cup. You're going to fill it up, and then it's just going to bubble up and bubble up and bubble up. You betcha. For everybody in that area, if this holds true, it's the worst storm you have ever seen.
Yeah, and you notice the path, it was different than the other guy. This showed it much stronger. It showed 5 for a longer period of time, then it goes to a 4 or a 3. So it seems like very strange how it's working. It's much more powerful than they anticipated.
All right, listen up. Hurricane Milton isn't just another storm. We're talking the monster of the century here. I'm pulling up the live radar map right now, and let me tell you, it's not looking good. Track its path in real time with this app, guys, and stay safe out there.
Okay, so she's kind of somewhat similar to what he was saying. Here's Governor DeSantis weighing in on this.
Storm is expected to make landfall on the Florida Peninsula, the west coast of Florida, sometime late Wednesday evening, maybe early Thursday morning in the wee hours is kind of where it's looking now, but it has moved a little bit slower than projected over the last 36 hours. There is still a lot of uncertainty about where exactly the eye of the storm is going to hit. I think the most recent models have it somewhere in Manatee County, just south of Tampa Bay. But I would just tell people, one, there's going to be impacts far beyond wherever the eye of the storm is. Two, you could make landfall anywhere from Citrus County down into southwest Florida. We'll know more over the next 12 to 18 hours. But just cones, all this stuff you see, The impacts will be broader than that, particularly with respect to storm surge on the west coast of Florida. We have an unprecedented effort underway. I want to thank everyone that's been involved. It's not easy, especially when you've just responded to a Category 4 storm, Helene, to have it done. I know everybody's tired. Trust me, we get it. We're wearing out the Celsius at the state EOC, but what you're doing is important. Hang in there and let's get the job done. Okay.
All right, and let's see here. What we got here. So this is like simulation stuff. Obviously, it hasn't hit yet. So this is what it can be like.
Well, there's also perhaps there's like some island. I don't know if there's any islands in there right before. We might see that tomorrow,
right?
With some islands. I don't know. Being hit first. Now, to give an idea, like roofs are usually not able to even handle over 100-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh my God! The coming glass! Oh my God!
Okay,
like
somebody's saying this Sanibel Island.
Yeah, okay. One of the islands that's on maybe on its path before it hits Florida, main coast. Yeah, what I was saying though is like a lot of these, like the roof on a house, usually the best roof you can get is about 130, 140 mile an hour wind rated. This thing's talking about 180 mile an hour wind. I mean, this pretty much will take any roof off any building. Take out an entire house, you know what I mean? So this is not a small one. This is a very, very big monster hurricane.
Very much so. Oh, that's all the ones that I have there. I mean, I played this one. This is that longer clip. We could play a little bit more of this. This is talking about Helene again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
That have been so hard hit and affected.
It's from Sean Hannity.
And she joins us tonight with 5 local residents who have had their lives upended by Hurricane Helene. Sarah, you can introduce everybody, and I just really have one question. I want them to respond to the president saying every need has been met, everybody is happy, and are they happy with Joe and Kamala's response to the hurricane?
What do the states of the storm zone need, Mr. President?
Sorry?
What do the states of the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone?
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you, man, and I was saying this, and this is like 3 months ago, right? What was it, like 3 months ago or whatever, when he had that really bad debate performance? And then he got okay. So I was saying, like, right after that, I was like, look, this dude is done. And then there was, and there was also the attempted assassination of Trump, and Trump was looking all strong, and he was looking all pitiful and weak, and had that poor debate, poor performance. And I kept saying, 4 months is a long time. It's a long time. And you can just imagine how much decline that this guy was going to go through in that amount of time. And you're really seeing it. It's gotten significantly worse over the last, and it's almost like he's not even trying to look like he has energy. Like you see him at press conference. I saw you seen him at the press conference. He just looks like, it's like grandpa mode, where it's just like he is talking very slow, and he's like laughing with people, but like it's awkward, and it's, dad jokes and stuff, and I'm like, man, this is like really bad. But this,
And you
but
don't know if it's that, or if he's actually just trying to gaslight you, and you know what I mean? Like sometimes it seems like he's just saying things like, "Oh, everything's fine," but you don't know if it's because he's losing his mind because he's old, or if he's
dude,
just saying
I
it 'cause they
think that
want you
this
to.
right here, there is no way that he would say something like this if
I
he
think you're right on
totally,
this one.
yeah,
I
if
think
he
you're right.
totally knew what the heck was going on. Let's try it again.
I agree with you on this one.
What are the states in the storm zone? What do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They're getting everything they need, and they're very happy across the board.
You know what I kind of feel like it is too? I feel like he's ruining his own presidency because he knows he's not going to be in again. And I've seen him do this a little bit. Like Kamala went on The View and he went out and did his own little interview. And he said that every single decision I made, she was in the room and agreed on it. So, and then she said the same thing on The View, which was ridiculous. I mean, it's just destroying her own campaign. I feel
Yeah,
like he doesn't
I don't
like
know
her.
why
I
she
feel like
would
he doesn't
say
like
that.
her.
That is the
I don't think he wants her
dumbest
to
thing
win.
on earth for her to do.
I don't think he wants her to win. That's why he wore the red hat too. And I think he's just trolling and doesn't care now because he's already going to be going out. I don't know. He's also losing his mind because he's old. I think it's like it's really weird.
Yeah,
The whole thing's
I just,
really
it's
weird.
just a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I think one of the most breathtaking things that I just was like, I cannot believe that Kamala is celebrating the endorsement of Dick Cheney. What the heck? What the crap, man?
He was
Really?
like the Emperor Palpatine for Democrats back like 20 years ago. He was like the devil. Cheney is the devil 20 years ago. Literally the devil.
Oh, I know, man. This is
He was like the worst. He was worse than Bush.
ridiculous.
He was worse than Bush.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah, he was worse.
In my mind, he was the real warmonger, and I think
like-
stuff that he
yeah.
did, we're still dealing with the mess that he got us in.
Well, I think it's still. I think his friends are part of what's going on right now. I'm telling you, I think he's actually involved in. I think BlackRock is tied to him. I'm guessing. I don't know, but there are some companies that he's tied to that have been in the news, and I do feel like he's still pulling strings in the background a little bit. I think he is part of some of the SWOR efforts and some of the crony money and stuff. I think he's still there, man. I don't. It may not be him, but it's his friends, at least people that he knows. I can tell you that.
It's just, it is just. I have no, like, why would you be celebrating the
I never liked
endorsement
him.
of Dick Cheney?
Even back in the old days, 20 years ago, I didn't like Cheney even back in the old days. And now I was on the other side of I was on the right back then, and I was like, I didn't even like Cheney.
I don't know what the heck, man. That
No one
whole
liked
that stuff is just ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't even do it, man. All right, let's keep going.
Sean, I got to tell you, I'm here in Swannanoa. You can see the devastation behind me. I just heard what President Biden said, and I can tell you this. I'm not going to tell you in my own words. I'm going to let them tell you for themselves the response from the federal government. But we had an opportunity today. We actually flew over Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, completely devastated. I don't even know if there's a word to describe what I witnessed. It's nothing short of tragic. People lost their lives. Their homes went down the river. It was actually so devastating that there was a geological shift in the river. So where the river had actually been at one point, it actually shifted to another area within the community. So an entire golf course was gone, a mini golf Restaurants toppled over. The streets were covered with debris. But there was one thing that was certain, and one thing that I saw. It was residents. It was firefighters. It was law enforcement. It was the sheriffs. It was people coming out helping one another. And here's some of those people right here. They came with us because they want the American people, Sean, to know the truth. I've got Newland Mayor here. It's Derek Roberts. I've got the coroner from Avery County who is with me, John Millen. Oh, I've got David Calder, real estate executive who lost his business, your home. And I'll go back to you. I was able to see your business from the helicopter. It was completely demolished and sitting in the river. And Jimmy Sizemore, my gosh, you lost your entire home. It came right off the cliff, Sean. His entire home, his life's investment. It was out of the flood zone, came right off the cliff. I want to start first right here with Derek, Mayor Roberts. Talk a little bit about how you and your family experienced that night when Hurricane Helene came in. I know you were with your daughter, you were with your children. What happened?
Yeah, it turned ugly quick. It went from some rain and some wind to a tree in our bedroom, and our basement was flooding, and my wife grabbing our daughter Tatum and our grandkids and Isaac, and they took off. I got on the phone with USA right away, right in the middle of it. It was just awful. That's shocking.
Let me ask you this before we go on to you, John.
Yeah.
Did you get in touch with FEMA right away? Was there any government officials that you've seen over these days since Hurricane Helene devastated your home? Has anybody been here to help you? Because this is the big question. Sean just played a clip of President Biden saying that you all are getting everything you need.
What is FEMA?
Right.
I mean,
he said, "What is FEMA?" In other words, he didn't get his $750. But of course, that $750 was not going to fix his house that's got a tree in his bedroom now.
I think, yeah, like the other guy had his entire house washed away, so I don't think that's going to work out too well either.
Goodness gracious, man. That's terrible. We don't have to play any more of that, but you have anything else you want to?
Well, actually, I can get into another thing. We have something rather curious happening tomorrow. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are going to be in the stars. So it's really interesting. I started learning recently that the book of Revelation is actually talking about astronomical things all the time. So apparently we're going to see this, the Northern Lights create a ring. And it says right here in scripture in Revelation, there was a rainbow round about the throne in the sight like unto an emerald. Then you have these constellations aligning like Leo. It says here, heavens are my throne and earth is my footstool. You have the 4 beings around the throne, the flying eagle, the calf, the lion, and a face like a man. These are the seraphim around the throne. It's really interesting how astronomy actually relates to this, because we had the Revelation 12 sign, which if you read the text of Revelation 12, it's describing a constellation alignment that happened 2,000 years ago at the birth of the King of Kings. And it also happened in September 23rd of 2017. And some people are saying that this was a very important sign that occurred in 2017. If you add the Daniel 7 years to that date, the last day is October 31st, Halloween. And one of the important dates from that is September 16th. And guess what happened on September 16th? Diddy was arrested.
Diddy, yeah.
Diddy was arrested on that day. And there's a number of prophets saying that in the fall, there will be a fall of many kings, princes, and celebrities. And they've been saying this for like a decade, like Kim Clement and others. So I think this P. Diddy is not going to go like the last guy. I think there's too many tapes out there, and I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of this evidence. And I think a lot of people are going to be going down in the end. And so the idea is this October 31st is this is the last day for the devil, Halloween. And there's supposed to be something that happens on that day. I guess we'll see if it does or not, but there's a number of people predicting something will happen on that day, Halloween. But
Yep.
October 9th is actually the 4 horsemen. So let me show you what's going on with that. The 4 horsemen are, you got the red pale horseman. It's Mars with this other constellation. These are all horsemen. Gemini twins were the horsemen. So these all align on these days where you have the moon, Mars. Let me show you this. Where is it at? You have Venus, Mars. This is the red horse because it's Mars is red. The moon, Venus. And these are all the 4 horsemen. And what's going on is these all align on that day. And let me show you another thing. So apparently also it says in the book of Revelation that there's 7 bowls poured out. And these are like punishments, right? Well, Saturn, for some reason, is in a still retrograde next to this constellation that has a man pouring something out right over Saturn. And it's staying in that position. It's not moving. Of course, Saturn is the 6th planet. It has a hexagonal shape on it. Some wonder if this is relating to the devil because the word devil in Hebrew is Satyr, which is very similar to Saturn. So some say maybe this is this planet represents the devil, and this is the bowls of punishment being poured out on the devil. So this could be what we're seeing on October 9th, which is tomorrow. And so this is something interesting that's happening right now. But so we have all these weird constellation alignments that have been happening since 2014. We've had a ton of blood red moons, like 4 in a row. It was around 2014, 2015. We had the 2017 Revelation 12 sign, which was only happened one other time in history at the birth of Jesus. So we have all these weird constellation alignments happening, which clearly indicate we're in an important time. So whatever's going to happen this month is going to be very big. And I guess we'll see. And it's supposed to play out into November as well. So November is supposed to be very big as well. There's also these super hunter moons and super blue moons. I'm sure you heard about this. You had the one in September. Actually, you had one in August. This is the pale horse, is a blue sturgeon supermoon. You had the September one, which is the blood red harvest moon, which is the fiery red horse. And in October is the white horse, which is Apollo, October 17th. And the black horse is the beaver supermoon, which is interesting because the black horse is death, and the beaver is something of something that builds. So the black horse would be death, and then after that we have rebuilding. So November 15th would be the start of the rebuilding of whatever happens. And I'm thinking what we're talking about here is every 500 years you have this, in the Dead Sea Scrolls it talks about these 500-year periods of time called onas, and we've been under the red dragon for 500 years, and I think it's ending on October 31st, and it's going to be the white dragon, which the white dragon is supposed to be the good dragon. This is in the book of Esther. The last chapter of Esther, which was removed and put in the Apocrypha, talks about a dream where 2 dragons are fighting, and these 2 dragons are vying for the power over the world. So what it's talking about, like when it says in Scripture, the devil is the god of this world, it's talking about the red dragon being over the earth. And so there's time periods where it can shift, and it could be because the people are repenting, or the people are right or better. Like the I guess you would say like the scales are moving the right direction to where it's the white dragon over the earth. In the Middle Ages, there was a two onas, or 1,000-year period of time of the white dragon. And that's where the church was essentially over the earth more so. It doesn't mean there's no evil. It just means that the world is in a better state, because after that, we had the red dragon since King Henry VII. The world's been going to hell in a handbasket of recent because of corruption, because of leaders, right? So the idea is that what's going to happen is all these people are going to fall. And I think Diddy's a big part of it. But this is sort of what all these prophets are saying. I'm not saying this is necessarily all true. I'm just telling you what they're saying, and sort of what they're saying.
So my birthday is October 17th.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And,
sweet, man. So that's the white horse, man. So you're the white horse.
And it's a big birthday. It's 50.
Oh my goodness. You're 50 now? I'm 49.
Well, not yet. Don't throw me in an early grave, man.
You're going to be officially an old man.
That's right. Next week on Thursday, which is October 17th, I'll be 50. That's right.
Oh my goodness gracious, man. The world's going to end on your birthday. So
Oh, no.
No, actually, it means a beginnings, a new beginning. So after October, it's supposed to get good again. Believe it or not, it sounds insane, but all this Twilight Zone we've seen over the last so many years is supposed to eventually end, and it's supposed to get better. We'll see if that happens. It might take a year or two for that to turn around. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. But this is what they're saying. I guess we'll see if it happens, right? I know a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people are like, it's just going to get worse. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I may have been.
Jesus comes back too. It could be
I may have been the one saying over and over that second coming of Christ or like nuclear holocaust or something. Those are the two possible ways to improve the circumstance.
It could be Jesus coming back, dude. It literally could be that.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I've been saying second coming is part of it. Yeah.
I'm not saying it is either. I'm not ruling it out. I'm not saying it is, but I do think it's going to get better. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has a hand in on it. Obviously, that's what all this would be if it did happen. So, yeah, man. I don't know. It could happen. We'll see, right?
All right. Well, we had a great show today, and I think we made up a little bit for some lost time.
Yeah, not bad. It was good.
Yeah, it's good. So wait a minute. So you're, are you turning 50 in July?
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, I know it's next year.
I'll be officially old in next year.
Yeah. I know it's next year. I know you trying to.
We look young, man. You and I, we don't look like we're 50. Do you look? I don't think you and I look 50. Right? I don't think we're there yet. I've heard the younger generation's already looking 50 though. I've heard some of them look.
Oh yeah, they're saying like Z's are like look old in a mug. They're saying
we're looking younger than the Gen Z, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. All right. Well, we're going to see you next time. Thanks for being here, everybody. Peace out.
Yeah, see you guys.
See you later.